Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I'm your Empower Yourself host, and today, well, we're digging into something that can be tough, but honestly, so necessary. We're doing a really honest self-reflection on 10 common reasons why people often struggle financially. And let's be clear, the mission here is purely about identification. It's about empowerment, not blame, definitely not shame. We want to help you find clarity and maybe more importantly, the tools you need to break free from those, cycles of scarcity.
That framing is so important because, look, we don't acknowledge the bigger picture, right? Systemic issues, economic downturns, just plain bad luck. Those things are real and they matter. But today our focus is really internal. It's on the patterns, the habits, maybe the beliefs that can act like roadblocks, sometimes like these invisible anchors holding you back. These are the things, crucially, that are more within your control to actually change.
Exactly. And by shining a light on these 10 common patterns, the idea is to move past feeling, overwhelmed and towards feeling more capable. So by the end of this deep dive, hopefully you'll have some specific actions you can take. Steps to start building real financial resilience.
Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we even start? I guess it has to be reason one. Lack of financial literacy and education. It seems so basic, but our sources really hammer this home. So many of us are kind of thrown into this complex financial world with, well, no map, no basic instructions. And that leads to, making impulsive decisions that cost us or avoiding financial terms because they sound scary.
Or worse, yeah. Falling prey to scams or predatory loans simply because you weren't aware of the red flags.
Yeah.
And the problem isn't just not knowing stuff. It's the consequence, systemically. Like the source material suggests, it's like you're trying to win this really complicated game, but you don't even know the rules and the game mechanics. They're often working against you if you're not paying attention. Inflation is always eating away at your cash savings.
Right. The value just drops over time.
Exactly. And meanwhile, high interest debt, especially consumer debt, it compounds relentlessly against you. So you feel like you're constantly just trying to catch up, never getting ahead.
Okay, I hear lifelong learning, and that sounds great in theory. But, for someone maybe working multiple jobs, feeling stretched thin already, where do you find the time? What's like the smallest thing you can do that actually makes a real difference?
Great question. And the answer isn't, go read a textbook on derivatives trading. No.
Yeah.
The very first step, it's radical transparency with yourself. It's knowing exactly where every single dollar went last month. Meticulous tracking. That's step one.
Just seeing the reality.
Yeah. Just seeing it. Once you have that baseline, then you can start understanding the basics. We're talking simple stuff initially. Like, what's the difference between the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods for paying things off? One's about motivation, the other's pure math.
Yeah.
Which works for you? Or understanding what a 401k or an IRA actually is. It's just an account type, right? With tax advantages to help you save long-term. You don't need to be a Wall Street expert. Just grasp the function.
That makes sense. And that foundation, that literacy, it leads right into the next big issue, doesn't it? Reason 5, lack of a clear financial plan or goals. Because you can have the knowledge, but if you're just sort of winging it day to day, you've got no direction.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
seriously, wealth is almost never built by accident. It requires intentionality. Without specific goals, SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, whether it's just paying off one small debt this year or saving for a down payment in 5 years.
Without those, you're just reacting.
You're completely susceptible to short-term impulses. And that's how lifestyle creep, that silent killer, gets you.
Yeah. The raise comes in and suddenly expenses just inflate to meet it.
Precisely. You get a, say, $10,000 raise, fantastic. But then your rent or mortgage goes up, your car payment bumps up, you eat out more, and suddenly $8,000 of that raise is just gone, absorbed. A plan, even a simple one, helps you consciously decide where that extra money goes before it vanishes.
Okay, so if knowledge and planning are the map, the next pitfall is navigating the actual road with all its temptations. Which brings us right to reason 2, living beyond your means and impulsive spending. And this isn't always about buying yachts, right? Often it's the smaller stuff, like subscription fatigue. How many streaming services do you really need? Or that daily coffee habit. It adds up.
It really does. And there's that constant pressure, isn't there? Keeping up with the Joneses, trying to look financially successful, even if it means sacrificing actual internal financial security.
Prioritizing the appearance over the reality.
Exactly. That need for instant gratification. It leads straight to carrying credit card balances month after month. And you look at your statement and wonder where all the money went through. Those mystery expenses are often just untracked impulse buys.
What's fascinating here is how tightly that links to the next point, reason 4. High interest debt accumulation. One seems to flow right into the other.
It's a direct pipeline. Spending more than you earn, especially on credit cards, leads straight to high-interest consumer debt. And that kind of debt, it is an absolute wealth destroyer. It really is like trying to run uphill carrying a heavy backpack. Every single dollar you pay in interest is a dollar you can't use for savings, for investing, for building any kind of future security.
And just making those minimum payments. It feels like you're doing something, but
But you're mostly just treading water or even sinking deeper. The minimum payments are designed to keep you in debt for the longest possible time, paying the maximum possible interest. It's how they make their money.
so we mentioned the snowball versus avalanche methods earlier. For someone really wanting to break free from this debt cycle, which approach tends to work better for most people psychologically?
Well, mathematically, the avalanche method tackling the highest interest rate debt first will always save you the most money in interest charges, no question. However, the sources, in a lot of practical experience, often show the debt snowball method paying off the smallest balance first, regardless of interest rate, can be more successful long-term.
Why is that? Seems counterintuitive.
Because motivation often trumps pure math when it comes to behavior change. Getting those quick wins, knocking out those small debts completely, it builds momentum, it gives you hope. It helps you stick with what can be a really long, tough process.
The psychological boost is key.
It's huge. But whichever method you choose, the critical action is pairing it with something like the 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases.
Yeah.
Just wait a day. Delay gratification. See if you still really want it tomorrow. It
Right.
breaks the impulse.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's shift gears slightly to resilience, building that buffer. Reason 3, inadequate emergency savings. Life just happens, right? Job loss, medical bill, car breaks down, roof leaks. It's unpredictable.
Absolutely. And without that financial safety net, the standard advice is usually 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses saved up. Every single one of those unexpected things becomes a full-blown crisis. It immediately forces you back into borrowing, often at high interest rates, undoing any progress you've made.
Yeah.
It's exactly like trying to build a house on quicksand. You just can't get solid footing.
3 steps forward, 5 steps back.
Precisely.
And the elegant solution to building that fund, the thing that makes it almost automatic, is actually reason 8, failure to automate. This isn't just a nice idea. It feels like a core strategy.
Oh, it's absolutely essential. Automation basically removes willpower from the equation.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you have to consciously decide every single payday whether to save or spend, well, spending often wins, doesn't it?
Yeah, the temptation is right there.
But if you automate it, set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your savings account the day after you get paid. The money's just gone from your spending account. You adapt. It's the golden rule. Pay yourself first. Treat your savings like a bill you have to pay. It guarantees consistent progress whether you feel motivated that day or not.
Okay, now for one that might surprise some people. Reason 9, neglecting health and well-being. How does taking care of yourself or not taking care of yourself connect so directly to financial struggle?
It's profound, actually. Think about it. Your ability to earn money depends fundamentally on your physical and mental health. That's your primary asset. So, poor health. It's basically an investment in future financial problems, as one source put it. It leads directly to higher medical bills, obviously, lost wages from being sick, reduced productivity even when you were working.
Okay, the direct costs make sense.
But it goes deeper. Stress, anxiety, depression, these severely impair your judgment, your financial decision-making. It can lead straight back to impulsive spending as a coping mechanism, or just feeling too overwhelmed to manage your money effectively.
Wow. So that preventative checkup, getting enough sleep, managing stress, those aren't luxuries. They're actually financial strategies.
They are direct investments in your long-term earning potential and your overall financial stability. Absolutely critical.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think, diving into the subconscious stuff. Reason 7, unhealthy relationship with money, or these deep-seated mindset issues. These are the invisible things, the psychological barriers that can undermine all the practical steps we've just talked about.
This is huge. What's fascinating here is how these ingrained beliefs, maybe you grew up hearing money is the root of all evil, or you just have this deep down feeling that you're not good with money, how they act like those invisible anchors. They can create what psychologists call a scarcity mindset. You feel like there's never enough, which ironically leads you to make poor, short-sighted decisions. Maybe you spend impulsively to feel better for a moment, retail therapy.
Or you sabotage opportunities, like not asking for a raise because you feel undeserving.
Exactly. Or avoiding investing because you're terrified of losing, even if rationally you know it's key for long-term growth. Breaking free really starts with identifying those limiting beliefs. challenging them, and consciously reframing money not as some moral judge, but simply as a tool. A tool for security, for freedom, maybe for helping others.
That emotional piece is so powerful, and it links right into our final area, which is about growth and adaptability. We need to tackle the twin issues of reason 6, having limited income streams, and reason 10, ignoring opportunities for growth and adaptability. Basically, standing still in a world that's constantly changing.
Yeah, stagnation is the enemy here. Standing still financially often means falling behind in real terms, right? Because inflation is always nibbling away at your purchasing power, even if your salary number stays the same. The world, the economy, it rewards evolution, it rewards proactivity. You have to continuously invest in yourself.
What does that look like practically?
It means acquiring new skills, especially ones that are in high demand. It means actively networking. It means being willing and knowing how to negotiate your salary based on your actual market value, not just accepting whatever you're offered initially. If you don't invest in developing your skills, you're essentially capping your income potential,
Yeah.
reason 6, and guaranteeing that stagnation, reason 10, becomes a major barrier. They feed each other.
So what does this all mean? Pulling it all together. The core message from this deep dive seems to be that real financial empowerment isn't just one thing. It's this mix of knowledge, deliberate action, and critically, a resilient mindset. And maybe the most important first step on this whole list is just acknowledging, seeing which of these patterns might be playing out for you.
It's exactly. Understanding these 10 reasons is about illumination. It's about clarity, not judgment. Please hear that. And recognize that most of these things, the literacy you build, the plan you make, the savings you automate, the mindset you cultivate, these are largely within your power to influence and change. You don't have to fix everything overnight. That's overwhelming. Just start small. Pick one thing, and then stay consistent. That's the secret sauce.
Okay, so building on that, if we accept that standing still, especially with income, means falling behind in real terms, here's a final thought for you to really mull over this week. What is the single most urgent, high leverage step you will commit to taking? Maybe it's researching salaries for your role. Maybe it's signing up for a low-cost online course in a key skill. Maybe it's brainstorming a simple side venture. What step will you take this week to directly address that barrier of limited income streams? Think about the compounding effect. Small, consistent, intentional actions. That's how you start writing a new story, one of growing prosperity and hopefully more peace of mind. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.